the whole day before I was just chilling with my girl, and then they got about 3, 4, 5 one of the times, and I had went down to my friend Anthony's, but Anthony and them weren't there. They were all at Devon's house. So I went over to Devon's, and there was me, him, his girl, Rolo, Anthony, and the other Anthony. And Anthony Love, he was there. He was really drunk, being arrogant, talking shit, just being stupid, throwing stuff on the ground. And Laquana's mom had already been getting like stuff about not throwing stuff on the ground because we'd be chilling there and we'd be throwing stuff on the ground. And he kept throwing like shot after shot after shot on the ground. She had told him to pick him up. We had got in each other's face, and he swung at me. He missed. I swung at him. I hit him. He kind of grabbed me. We fell to the ground. We didn't do really no fighting because he was grabbing and rolling. So Devon picked me up, and then he got mad and wouldn't call it cool. And Anthony Love started talking shit, and he was saying like things like he was gonna get us back, we were gonna pay for it, he was gonna kill us. He was saying the same thing at the Rivera house till the whole time he left. When he went down there, I was like, I'll go down there and try to apologize to him. When we went down there, he started talking even more shit, saying he was gonna kill us, saying he was gonna get revenge on us. Anthony Rivera's mom came outside, Maxine, and she started getting mad because everyone was yelling. It's in front of her house, stuff like that. So when she got mad, Anthony got mad, her son got mad, Anthony Rivera, Adrian, and everyone just started yelling and going the most. So Maxine, his mom Maxine, went in the house and came out with a machete. And she was like, you guys need to leave, I need to leave. And she was like, you need to leave, Anthony. And Anthony Love. Because he just kept going. So she told him to leave, and he finally left.
All right, what time did this happen?
It happened like 10 minutes ago. You see us right up the street, so I walked here right after it happened. Okay, I probably talked shit to him after it happened, but I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been drinking and stuff.
Do you have your license on you?
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Okay, so it said that they took your wallet. Is that what happened?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
all my shit was there, like my
Morley.
social security and shit. But when I checked in here, I had my ID out of it. But I had a black, I don't know what type of wallet exactly it was, but it was a black wallet. It had my social security. It had a KFC card. It had a I had my red card, so it had a medical marijuana like stamp card.
Is that in there too, in the wallet?
I had my card in my backpack.
So we were on the way to my house, and we got to the corner of Donovan Drive. That's right before Pruce. And we got to the corner, and we walked up Pruce just a little bit, and I turned around and I seen the cops. He kind of like came up intimidated. He didn't come up like just any cop, let me talk to you and this and that. It was like came up with his hands on his gun, looking at me like intimidating.
What's going on today? All right. What are your names?
What's the reasoning?
All right. So we got a contact that keep your hands out of your pockets.
Oh, sorry.
Possible assault that occurred?
Oh, I didn't touch it.
Okay. What's your name? Devon. What do you go by?
I just go by Devon.
Do you go by Spaz?
No, sir.
Okay. Put your hands up for me a sec. Put your hands up. Right. So we got a report of 2 people, similar descriptions, possibly having a gun, all right? So don't reach for your waist. We're going to just check and make sure that you don't have a weapon, all right? Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Get your hands up! Get your hands up! Get your hands up! Get down on the ground! Get down on the ground!
We need a med kit. We need a med kit.
We got a report of 2 people, similar descriptions, possibly having a gun, all right? So don't reach for your waist. We're going to just check and make sure that you don't have a weapon, all right? Get your head. Get down, get down, get down!
Oh
Five shots fired.
Oh shit. I'm not doing
Put your hands
anything.
behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
What happened? Oh my god.
Medical kit. Medical kit.
You just shot my cousin, sir.
Dude, don't move. Don't move.
My cousin. What's that? Sir.
Hey, buddy, here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move off to the side. I need to move you off the road. Okay, I need to move you off the road so we can get medical up here, okay? Go ahead and sit up, please. All right, awesome.
Y'all just shot my fucking cousin. Are y'all serious?
I went to go put my fingers in the hose to plug up the blood from coming out. Not being able to do nothing really affects me. I felt helpless when Devon was getting shot. I felt belittled, if that makes sense, you know? So when I can't sleep, it's like a movie. I replay it over and over in my head. It just dawns on me at night when I can't sleep. Just death is always in my head. I'm 20.
Say his name! Say his name! And I'm so sorry that it took that for us to take action in Colorado. But what I want you to know is that because of that, we had a bill ready. It wasn't because of what happened to George Floyd. While tragic, and while folks took those 8 minutes and 46 seconds and thought about what is happening in our own communities, what happened to their own lives, I was thinking about Devon.
When you're constantly watching this happen, in your mind, you're already fixed to think that, oh gosh, if I have an interaction, I'll probably die. Let me just get away from here.
The same target I have, every black person has.
I was 16 and he was 18, and it was literally right after my 16th birthday we started dating. And he's so like, he only wears socks. He loves to wear socks. So we go swimming in California and he swims with his socks on. He never takes them off. He only took off his socks in the shower. Literally, if we had laundry to do that day, he would have a pair of socks already cleaned and then do the rest. Like, he was so superstitious about his socks. He did not play. I'm telling you, I have a photo of me and him on the jet ski and he has his socks on. The whole fight broke out, and Devon makes no sense because he was the peacemaker, you know? He was the one that pulled Day off of Lawrence, and then Day tried to stay at Lawrence and then jumped him, but Devon was the one that was trying to make things right. And they were all friends, so that's why they went to Anthony Rivera's house. And they tried to, like, you know, fix things out, but he didn't want to fix nothing, and he was just so mad. Yeah, he was like, you bitches jumped me, like, fuck y'all, y'all are pussies, you know, like, going off. And then Devon was like, who? Like, I didn't even touch you. Before he left my house, I had an attitude because I didn't want him to go. And he was like, I love you, I love you, I love you. He kept screaming it, so I kept screaming it back. I just wished, like, I would have touched him one last time, you know? Gave him a kiss. So, like, it messes with me every day, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it hurts me. He was in so much pain, and I never watched the video, but there's a picture of him when he's holding his back. And that's all I think about. Like, I know he was in pain, and it's like they didn't care. When he was laying on the ground, it's like they didn't even care to try to help him. And I know if he was here right now, he would be the best father. Like, the best. He was so eager to have a family, and we talked about it all the time, and he's gone. They don't understand what they took from us. They don't even understand who they took from us. And they don't care. That's how it seems like they don't care. Or every day I go to the park and I just see these dads with their kids, you know? And like, I cry because I can't experience that. Like, I can't have him here with me. Like, everything's on me. I can't do nothing. I can't, hey, can I have a break, babe? Can you get the baby for 2 hours? It's all me. It's not me and him, it's just me. And it hurts. And she's beautiful, she's awesome, she's so happy. And he should be here to see it, and he's not. She's him. She's really him. She's crying right now. I'm sad, guys, I'm sorry. I don't wanna cry, okay. I got this. Okay, I'm so tired of crying. I'm so hurt, like I'm miserable. I'm gonna be honest, I'm miserable. I hate my life, a lot. And I don't hate my life enough to kill myself though, I know that. But I hate my life. In a split second of them not even trying to run, they shot instead. They don't even know that they messed up my life. They messed up my daughter's life. They messed up Devon's father's life, his mother's life, his siblings. Like, they messed up so much and don't even know what they did. And they don't care at all. I'm hurting. I'm only 18 years old and I never want to love again. I was supposed to marry this man, you know, like I have one kid with him. We plan to have so much more kids. And I'm only 18 and I miss him, I need him, and like no one understands that, and they took him from me. They really took him from me and I don't like it. They took him from me and Rosianna and he never even got to meet her. And that hurts. Sorry. I just feel like, I don't know how I feel. I just hurt so bad. And I look at all the times me and him had together and they weren't great, but they were great. And a daughter needs their father's love and she'll never have that. Like, I have a father in my life and he wasn't there, and it messed with me. But he was there, you know, he's alive. But Rosianna, her father's gone. Like, there's no, I can talk to him, I can call him on the phone, there's none of that, he's gone. And if they just would have took a split second, stuff would have been different. Way different. And they took him August 3rd, and August 12th was the day that we were supposed to find out our gender. He knew we were having a little girl too, though, that's why it's crazy. He said it, we were having a little girl. And here we are, Rosianna. And she looks exactly like him too. She has his feet too, and his hands. His feet are like really wide but short. So her feet are wide but short. So when I go shoe shopping, I have to make sure that they're gonna fit her for a long time and that they're not squeezing her feet. Like, she is Devon. Like, she's like, Devon's living through her at this point. And it just hurts. Those police officers, I guarantee you they have families. I guarantee you they go home to their families. And Devon didn't go home that night. Devon didn't even take another breath that night. All because of them. This is how it has to be for our voices to be heard.
Man, it was a whole bunch of scared dudes behind a gun. With the uniform on. With the uniform. I'm mad, I'm pissed, I'm anxious, I'm upset, all of those. And it's my little black son I have to look after and let him know that you can't roam the street you can't roam the street without watching your back from the own law that's supposed to protect you. I have a target. I mean, look at me. I can't leave the house without saying, hey, my phone's charged. Hey, I got my Bluetooth on just to call you just in case. The same target I have, every black person has. If I'm by myself, with my headphones in, minding my own damn business, I'm scared, man. But I do want the person who's done all this to be behind bars. There's no reason he should be out and about slapping fives, relaxing with his family when we don't have Devon here to do that. I was so happy. I was happy for him. He was starting his family. And he was going along with everything. Got a job, got a car, has a girl, has a kid on the way. I was so proud of him. I was so proud of him. He was such a good kid, man. Why did they do it? Why did they do it?
The way I found out about Devon being shot was, first of all, it was a Saturday, and I felt sick all day. Then Greg calls me. So I answered the phone, and he was like, the cop shot our son. And I was like, what? And he was like, the cop shot our son. And I was like, okay, they shot him. He's probably okay. Go to the hospital and make sure, please make sure he's okay. 10 minutes later, Greg calls me. I hear screaming in the background. I hear loud noises. I hear people yelling. And like, I literally dropped my phone because I knew. It literally felt like my whole world like came crashing down. I don't, like, I think about that day all the time, and I wish I could go back in time. I can't watch, like, I cannot watch my child lay in the street and bleed out and die in the middle of the road. I can't watch that. Even when I got here, I couldn't view the body. I barely made it through the wake and the funeral. Like, when I watched that, the little seconds that I could watch of the body cam footage, Devon was terrified. I could see it in him. He was terrified, as anybody would have been. When you're constantly watching this happen, in your mind, you're already fixed to think that, oh gosh, if I have an interaction, I'll probably die. Let me just get away from here. That played a big part of it, and that's just, you know, my belief that it was more like I could treat you this way and I'll probably get away with it. And that's probably what the cop was thinking anyway. I can do this and I'll get away with it, it'll be okay. And he did. So, I just want to talk to him. I just want to say, you know, I love you. I didn't get to tell him I love him. I didn't get to, like, I was like, I hope he knows that I loved him. When he was laying there, my brother was like, well, he didn't die right away. And I was just like, I was just thinking what was going through my baby's mind. He was probably like, I'm about to die and I'm never gonna see my family again. That alone killed me. Like, he was laying there knowing he was about to die and there was nothing I could do. I wasn't there. And as a mother, the biggest thing you want to do is protect your kids. And when you can't and you feel powerless and something like this happens, it weighs on you.
Well, as we were barbecuing in the yard, as soon as we saw the first squad car pull onto the block, onto Prius, you know, it was me and my other friend that was attending the birthday party. She was a mother of some of the children that were here. We immediately sprang up and we're like, let's go get the kids, you know, just in case anything happens, you know. And so I was walking up the sidewalk and her kids were walking down the sidewalk. And then as soon as I got about halfway up the sidewalk, that's when I heard like the gravel, and I looked up and I saw Devon take off running, and the officer, immediately went after him, but it wasn't but a few seconds later that he opened fire, and I counted 7 shots that he had fired. The other officer, I didn't even notice if he had fired or not, because my eyes were fixated on him. You know what I mean? And Devon took a few more steps, and then he fell to the ground. It appeared to me that he was scared, and he was running away. That's how it appeared to me. I didn't feel at any point that he was a threat to those officers, and at no point did I ever feel like he was a threat to my kids in the park either. It wasn't until the officer fired his weapon into the park that's when I felt like, my kids were in danger if they were to get hit by a stray bullet. But it took me a long time to let my kids go outside again. Not only that, I fear for my husband's life. You know what I'm saying? If they could do that to him, they could do that to anybody. And I can say for sure that there was a veil of sadness and grief over this entire neighborhood because of it. And nobody should ever have to go through that ever in their life. It was needless. And, now that it's coming up on a year, it brings everything back too. And it's still just so sad. And I relive it. And I see that video sometimes, and I'm just like, I can't even believe that happened, that it can even happen in my neighborhood or somewhere that I live, where my children are put in danger. There's a complete lack of trust. Knowing that an officer can get away with whatever he wants and still work these streets and be on these streets is terrifying. Because when that happens, that there's only a matter of time before it happens again. I just wish that it would have never happened. And that's something that I'm gonna carry with me for the rest of my life, is seeing him, laying on the street, dying. So, the change needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. And there needs to be justice for Devon, because this was wrong, absolutely wrong. And I really hope that this doesn't happen to anybody else's kid.
Devon played wide receiver, running back. I remember one time I put him down there at nose tackle. He was all around athlete. One of my favorites and one of my most difficult to deal with, because he was my nephew. I can't definitely cut you any slack, but at the same time, now you're looking at me like, oh, that's just my Uncle B. But no, I'm coach out here right now. You know what I'm saying? They kind of made it like instantly. They made it like it was us versus them. Instantly, like. From kicking us out the hospital, people are distraught, there's, people are angry, people are sad, people are frustrated, people are really trying to get an understanding of what's really going on. Someone needs to be held accountable for what happened here. Someone. Who are you? You're not the judge, you're nor the jury. Your job is to apprehend. Your job is not to kill people, your job is not to do any of that.
We're tired of people that are supposed to be protecting us, killing our own citizens, our own youth inside of our own community. It kind of just showed the disrespect they had to people of minority skin tone, of black skin tone, like how they kind of don't really, appreciate you. They just laugh at your face when you're actually caring about something that's really going on in daily life, in your backyard, in your home. It just shows the kind of disrespect that they have against citizens, their community that they're supposed to be protecting. It's made me distrust them a lot, honestly, especially being one of close friends to Devon Bailey, and they need better instruction, better discipline from whoever's giving them these rules and these regulations to abide by in the community. We need them to step up and be responsible. Not feeling able just to walk down the street, always guessing, oh, should I cut down left down this street, or should I just, keep my head down, not say anything to cause attention.
Growing up, me and Devon always been like this. Even if you look at like old pictures of me and him, we're always right next to each other. No matter who's in the picture, always right next to each other. We had to go everywhere together. I would not do anything without my brother. For a long time, I lost hope in a lot of things and didn't know how to feel, or I was just constantly looking for answers. I'm still looking for answers. I don't understand it. It's not fair. It's not right. I don't feel like anything can ever replace my brother. I feel like they should be held accountable. I don't believe that all cops are bad cops, but I do believe that if you're a bystander and you allow something to happen, you're just as wrong as anybody else. I do feel like if my brother was not a black male, he wouldn't have been shot at. I would just ask him, why did you feel threatened if my brother was fearing for his life? He ran. He didn't approach you. He ran away from you. So why did you feel the need to initially pull out your gun and shoot at him when there's other things you could have done? Why did you feel the need to continue to shoot after you hit him and you've seen that he was hit? Why did you continue to shoot? I just know that the man that's responsible for murdering my brother, he's at home with his family and enjoying his family. My brother will never see us again. I'll never see my brother again. I've had to graduate without my brother. I had a graduation party today without my brother. I really just want justice for my brother.
It was honestly chaotic. The neighborhood was pissed. They had riot gear on, which I think was very unnecessary. No one was really inciting riots or trying to incite a riot. We were more of asking questions and angry that the fact that no one was giving us answers or questions, and especially when there's a party going on and there's kids around, and this community's pretty active with the kids running around and shots being fired. So it's pretty disappointing that things weren't answered and that they were there like that and approached the situation like that.
I feel all tactical, geared up, and cool. Do you have any idea what we're doing?
I have no idea.
We see it on TV all the time in other states and other countries, other counties, and we see people our skin color getting gunned down by police or getting harassed by police, and their parents get no answer, or no one gets no answer until then, or police aren't prosecuted until maybe a year later, 5 years later, or not even at all, or just maybe a slap on the wrist and get to go back to work and possibly go work for another department and mess someone else's life up in another department.
As a pastor here in Colorado Springs, located in an economically disadvantaged community, probably the most, I find myself working with quite a few people in regards to police issues or what we call unjust or disproportionate police issues. The largest part of that population, though, regardless of economic status and zip code, tends to be African Americans. There's certainly a problem in Colorado Springs and El Paso County in regards to how police deal with African American, particularly African American males. This problem has existed as long as I can remember, going way back to 1972, when a man by the name, or a boy by the name of Miguel Adams was shot in the back while running away by a police officer. And later, it was discovered that the police officer then took a screwdriver and planted it next to the dead body. There's a huge disparity around how CSPD treats African Americans. For instance, in 2017, the African American population was about 6.2%, and 17% of the arrest from CSPD was African American. That number rose even higher in 2018. The percentage of arrests was about 18% that were arrested and charged. Corey Barnes was illegally arrested in 2018 and roughed up by police. Yeah, two other brothers, Ryan and Joey Brown, in 2015 pulled over for driving while black, were thrown to the ground, roughed up, and it turns out that they did nothing wrong. John Sturgis in 2012 was arrested. Was charged with murder. He had a bad shoulder. He tried to let CSPD know that he had a bad shoulder, even by showing MRIs. He still got roughed up. They end up settling for somewhere, and when I say they, the city of Colorado Springs, end up settling for somewhere in the amount of $300,000. And he had to get further surgery on his shoulder even after that. I mean, this is an atrocity, another atrocity. Yes, Jeffrey Melvin, that was the case in 2018. CSPD responded to a call about noise. Enter into this apartment, see a black man there, roughed him up, tased him. He goes to the ground. They continue to tase him. He gets up finally, trying to escape from being tased and beaten. And he falls and they tase him again. He dies. They tased him to death. There was no warrant, and the call was for noise. 27 years old. Grant Bloomquist, 2013. People wonder why everybody stood by and watched George Floyd die. And people wonder why nobody jumped in. This is an interesting case. Grant Bloomquist saw an officer abusing another man and spoke up and said, "Leave him alone." He was blindsided by an officer, hit in the face, then thrown up against a police cruiser, repeatedly kneed in the groin, and again, CSPD or the city of Colorado Springs settled a lawsuit. I'm familiar with one of the officers that was involved in the killing of Devon Bailey, Officer Vantlin, specifically speaking, who also was involved in two other horrific incidents prior to this. One was a repeated shooting of a man, and that resulted in death. The other one was an older man was grasping his grandson and informed the officers that they came for a call to take the grandkid, and informed him that they would be taking him to a sex offender's custody, so please don't. This man was tased and then thrown to the ground and beaten, and the city settled another lawsuit. But these officers come into these communities and they have carte blanche. How do you shoot a person running away? And how do you shoot into a crowd where there's children having a birthday party at a park and you just open fire in that direction? And then how do you place that officer on administrative leave and several days later he's back on the street? Back on the street. How does that happen? And it happens because there's not transparency in the police department. It happens because there's not accountability. It's not going to stop.